sure we weren't yet. And so this is the Rand Doctors 18. Doc, I didn't tell you this, but I actually made folders for every episode ahead of time, like over a dozen ahead of time. And last week was our first time where I ran out of folders. And so now I have to make a whole new set of folders because we lasted longer than I guess my premonition expected.
First of all, I'm hurt, but I'm also shocked. This is pretty crazy. This is pretty crazy.
It's one of those things too where we want to just keep our conversations going. I know that whenever I came and visit you, we had a nice, fun conversation, so we wanted to keep that going. And one thing I was thinking about yesterday as a topic for today actually is kind of going back onto that 12-week year, because at the beginning of the year, I was trying to do my quarterly note on my PIOS system, and I realized, okay, cool. Everything I planned for this year takes place within the first quarter. I mean, that's what my brain said. And now, Doc, we are already nearly halfway through March, and that's not been the case. I got the content blitz done, I would say, and I think that was successful. Even though I didn't necessarily finish all the blog posts that I wanted, I finished multiple sprints, and so I felt pretty successful with the content blitz, but I still have not done the PlayOS templates for my system, and I guess really like a book or course was the other thing. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, so I just finished 6 weeks of the 12-week year, so I'm 6 months done for the year on the format. Everything's rounding off nicely. It's just, again, a lot of these plans, what we were trying to do, it's pretty interesting. So, yeah, I've hit closer like to certain goals than I thought than others. That's pretty interesting. It also is reading the sponsorship magnet and trying to focus on what I need to do for income and revenue goals and everything like that. So, yeah, man. I think planning, I mean, this might be a little bit of a side tangent. Working at X-Ray, they're big on OKRs. Every place I've always gone, I just do not like OKRs. But one of the founders used to work at Google, and one of the things they were talking about, you're never going to hit all of your goals. Their projections are really trying to hit 80 to 88%. So you want to do a stretch goal and everything like that. It's an interesting concept. I like the 12-week year format better, but overall, it's making me go farther or try to stretch and try to.
That's kind of what the blitz was too.
Those things. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I was okay with getting only 88% done, because while I didn't get that last 12%, it's still one of those things where I got a lot more done in that time span because I had the motivation to do the blitz rather than doing multiple sprints by themselves.
Absolutely.
So I guess the idea is here to kind of update each other and the audience what we've been up to, but also talk about that process a bit more. I am thinking about this too as another meta topic where it's like you're talking about sponsorships, but even just monetization in general as a creator. I'm worried due to the economic changes right now, how things are going to be. Like, even if I had employment, which I have employment, but I'm even worried about that aspect, let alone as a creator, the income. I think that if you didn't have a diversified pool of income right now, if you're only relying on one thing, that one thing is more likely not stable enough to support you. And so you need to be mindful about that as a creator, because I think that right now people are not expecting what's going to hit us next.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I think having multiple streams of income always is a thing that you should be focused on. With sponsorship, I think having different types of sponsorship at different levels, what you do, that's one thing. But also, I mean, bottom line, you've got to figure out how you can have your own product suite of your own tools or products and services you offer, because the bottom line is, even if you have a sponsorship or an affiliate programs change. Sponsorship deals can change over time. You have no control over it whatsoever. You can have the greatest relationship, but businesses change. My favorite example, ConvertKit, which is now Kit, they used to do lifetime affiliates. Now it's 12 months, and that's a killer. That's a killer. So I think betting on yourself long-term, always the answer. And even if you can get a job where it's something that you want to do later on, like if you're into YouTube or social media, and you can get hired as an editor or do something and you get paid to learn or sharpen your skills of what you can now transfer to your own brand, I think that's going to be even more imperative in the next 12 to 18 months.
Hmm. It's interesting too, like being able to have the skills, but also keeping track of different affiliates. That's one thing I feel like we need a CRM for affiliates. I hate Get Rewardful and how they break every single person company apart. Like Get Rewardful as a main kind of tool for a lot of affiliate links. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just frustrating.
I like Partner Stack is a little bit better. But Rewardful, yeah, it just depends on what they decide to use. And a lot of them don't give API access for you to just build out and have an aggregate of all of your payouts. So it is difficult to see like at a glance how much you're actually making from all of your programs. Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, like even if you made a Notion database again without the API, you can't have the data put into it. So
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Especially if it changes like yearly, right? And if you just agree to the contracts, which I always do, right? I don't like when they're like, "Oh, your terms of services have changed." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, okay." But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different programs that it's only 12 months instead of lifetime value, which is a huge thing. And in general, when you have your own products, even if you're making, it depends on what you're selling and you're an affiliate of. If it is something that is a high ticket item, that might be the only thing you need. There's an
yeah,
example. It's a podcaster that deals with farm equipment. And so when he, has an affiliate or a deal with like John Deere or something, he gets 10%
it's
or
like a
whatever.
$10,000 right
Yeah,
there.
he's golden. So his podcast, when people listen to him and all these things, he's golden. A lot of times you're not selling that type of product.
Yeah.
The other one I heard in a book recently, he created a site to track the price of engagement rings. And so he had a
Hmm.
regional affiliate of like, if you buy diamonds from this place, he would get like 10%. Now
Hmm.
that was pretty interesting, but he actually had to make the affiliate deal himself with all of these jewelers. But I thought that was super niche and super unique of what you could
Yeah.
do.
I definitely think that too. The other aspects like memberships too, beyond just affiliates. I actually made PolyTools to kind of be an affiliate incubator, if you will, so I could start finding more and more affiliates to match with. But ironically, I guess some news to you, Doc. I decided to dismantle the website. We talked about it last time, but I ended up going through with it. And so I moved all the blog posts over, including the drafts, over to my main site. And I talked to my host today about, refunding this month and then just like shutting it down.
How's it going? How you feel?
I feel like it wasn't a waste because I definitely wanted to do it. And if I didn't do it, I'd be upset. But I don't see the work paying off anytime soon. And I guess also something that I'm thinking about is like I've seen Matt Wolf and Future Tools. I've seen uh, Francesco with the tool finder and stuff like that. And I've seen the things they've had to go through. And Matt Wolf has not really updated his site hardly at all. And I can't stand the interface half the time. And so I actually stopped going to it after a while because I couldn't ever find what was new. He actually got rid of the new tools tab essentially and changed it to something else. Like here's the daily added or something like that. It's like, but then by the time he actually adds to it, it's like at the end of the day or something like that. But I know that like Tool Finder has gone through a ton of iteration, and ironically, they kind of simplified it in a way, but also are expanding the complexity of it. They're kind of actually going towards the polymathic aspect where they're going beyond just productivity tools now.
Yeah.
So they're actually kind of getting into more of my domain, and it's like I can't compete with Tool Finder right now. I can't. He's a whole team behind him, and he has a whole bunch of actual programming people to do it, let alone AI.
Yeah.
And so like that's like Poly Tools is great, and I want to keep providing the tools, but I got to find a different way of doing it. One that does not
Yeah.
distract me from doing other stuff.
Yeah, I think well, and there's tons of different ways. If you're looking at like how Zapier, I think Zapier and HubSpot probably have the best examples. It's very complicated, but like programmatic SEO and how they expand and everything like that. Bottom line, if you're going to play that game, it just takes a lot of time and effort, and you've got to really be, that will be probably your focal point to get the most out of it.
And honestly, I kind of wanted to focus more on the PolyTools YouTube channel, anyways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, you gotta pick and choose, especially when you're a small team and everything like that.
yeah.
Actually, I mean, we can talk about it. I think we talked about it last time when I was getting off the call. Um, I'm debating if I'm gonna invest in an SEO optimized YouTube channel, like pay someone to go back over the 500 videos and optimize all of the videos and everything, like titles, descriptions, everything.
Mm.
Interesting. We can talk about it if you want to, but interesting. I've tried it on a couple videos. We'll see. We'll see.
I could see that being useful. I definitely still, I keep telling you this too. I still think that you should go back and re-add, just, publicize, relist unlisted videos is what I'm trying to say. And if you're already going to go through the SEO process of going back through and redoing the SEO on videos anyways, at that point, you might as well just try to match it towards your modern branding, I guess you could say.
I like the
I've
idea.
already
Um,
done some stuff like that too, where I went back and changed all the affiliate links or changed the descriptions of videos. And I did it a lot with the Polycast too, where I went back and made sure every video either said solo cast or interview or round two interview. And I changed all the thumbnails and stuff like that. And yeah, I've
I
added
like that.
tags since then too. Yeah.
I gotta look at that. I might. I might. Yeah, I'm looking at my YouTube account right now. There's 963 in this one profile. So maybe I will. Of course, I use my YouTube in a couple different ways because I do all my private like consulting and I just have it as unlisted videos as well.
Those are different,
But
obviously. Yeah.
yeah, but there are quite a few that we can go the other route, like you were saying. So
And you can even
very,
like publicize some of those old consulting calls and just have, just a chance for them to actually be picked up and stuff like that.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. Man, there's a lot of videos here. There's a lot of videos here. So, but no, you just never know. It's like the one I told you, getting started with Web3,
Yeah,
published
yeah, yeah.
December 28th. It's still top three right now. Doesn't really make sense. One of my shorts that you should know, two shorts are in my top 10 now, and they're older ones. One was in May, one was in January, so that's a newer one, but they're versus videos, which makes a lot of sense. They're just like like most of my content that gets ranked pretty high in SEO. So we'll keep an
That's one
eye
reason
on it.
why I like shorts though, because it's more points of entry for that stuff to happen.
Yeah, the only thing is, and I shouldn't be like this. I'm just like, yeah, the numbers are there. Shorts, you make so little money on shorts. I understand why, but
It's a quantity
kind of
game
bothers
too, for
me.
one. But also
Yeah,
too, like Doc, you can't compare a video to a short. They're
I
just
just
not the same.
did.
I know, but I'm just telling you though, they're not comparable. They're cool how they're in this top 5 of your channel, sure, but in reality, they're usually not comparable. And that's one thing a lot of people have a hard time realizing or accepting. Yeah.
I
Also, if
refuse to
anyone's
accept
listening
it.
in, that's fine. If anyone's listening in, I apologize for my voice. I can't breathe, so I'm doing the best I can.
You're
Allergies
doing
are
great.
brutal.
You're doing great.
You got the red solo cup over there. What are you drinking?
Water.
Yeah,
Seriously.
okay. Vodka,
Seriously.
maybe.
I just listen. This is why
Cheers to some
you
water, sir. This is your water break,
there we
folks.
there we
Everybody take
go.
a water break.
See?
So I'm thinking that for the end of this quarter, I actually already started working on some of the templates. I opened up my Notion and tried to refactor my template Notion. I need to mess with it still, but I opened it up at least. And then I opened up a new vault in Obsidian to build out a template for the PIOS and Obsidian. Those are the two main ones. I don't know what I'm going to do about capacities and Airtable yet because those add a different level of complexity,
Hmm.
but that would be interesting enough to try to provide a template for. And then I'm going to upload those to Ko-Fi. And once I get those uploaded, I can make the blog posts and videos about them. And once I do those 3 steps, you make the templates, make the blog post, make the video, then I will feel done for at least 4 different tools. Probably I'll feel done with the PIOS.
So what will be your goal for the next quarter? What are your top 3 goals?
Oh, so you want to go ahead? Okay, I was talking about just finishing off this quarter.
Oh, okay. We can talk about this goal. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you're good. Well, it's good to think ahead too, so maybe we can do both.
all right. So you're going to finish that up.
So
That's
for
end of
two,
March, right?
yeah, 2 templates at the very least, like Notion and Obsidian, probably 4 templates, 4 posts, 4 videos, and then that's on the PolyInnovator channel. The PolyTools channel already has videos scheduled out to like the end of April, but I need to start making videos still on this computer and Herc Pulsar, everybody. I also have the graphics card set up. I don't know if I told you that, but I have the eGPU set up now so I can game a little bit more. I need to make some comparison videos with the hat too. And
Nice.
once I finally got it set up, though, it took me a minute. But once I do, now I can actually start messing with it.
Okay. Nice. Nice, nice, nice.
What about you?
And then, okay, so you have that going on. And then what else? What's the other 2 things that you're going to have?
So the eGPU and computer, making videos about those. That's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The PIOS template posts and videos is one of them.
Okay.
And then the third thing, I think the third thing was the content blitz, and that's already done.
Yeah, so you're right on track.
Yeah.
It looks like you're going to hit everything. That's awesome.
I should look back and see what I said on my Obsidian notes.
I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm right there.
I'm going to finish out January by finishing the content blitz. That ended up lasting a little bit longer. So the content blitz, after the blitz, I said after that I need to rework my PIOS funnels, templates, and lead magnets and paid course. So I guess the paid course was one of those things that I wanted to make, but making templates is satisfactory enough to me.
Tell me about the templates and everything.
So that's what the PIOS is for.
Are you the templates to sell or just for yourself?
I already have it for myself. It's to sell. Remember, that's what I use in Obsidian. It's my system. Mm-hmm. And I used to use it in Notion, but I basically deconstructed my Notion.
Let's see.
Fun fact, I used to play a lot with Legos, and I was always trying to build the best spaceship, and I would always tear it down, even when I made something really amazing. And I'm realizing now that I'm doing that with my websites and PIOS and all that jazz.
So how do you feel about that?
It's par for the course.
That's funny. Let's see. I'm looking at my 12-week year goals. Let's see about this. I'm going through it. I have a whole folder in my ChatGPT of building it out, all those things, and then I'm looking for how I'm structuring it.
Hold on. Am I talking through my mic?
No, you're muted now.
Okay, good. Because it's checked off on my mic. Oh, I don't know. It's so weird. Riverside's been jacking up on both of us today.
I'm telling you. Let's see. Okay. So basically I have a couple. So one is basically paying off debt to do that. So the goal, I have a goal there, and then the tactics are increasing revenue, reducing expenses, and then debt management. So a couple things going through this, which is pretty awesome. Cutting down on a lot of subscriptions on AI.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
I was spending several $100s at least a month on AI tools, just testing on the channel. And the reality is sometimes I would just forget to unsubscribe.
Yeah. Set a reminder, Doc. I put them on. I always put it on my calendar when I have a subscription I know I want to get rid of.
Oh, it's terrible. Or I'm just like, oh no, I just needed this one last time. It was just brutal. It's such a problem. I was also my Renaissance periodization, so like doing different training for exercising, and then I was like, I bet I could reconstruct this just using like ChatGPT of what I want and just build it out. So that was like $40 a month. So I had to shut that off. But then the other thing what I had was YouTube, freelancing, consulting, and then trying to go for a sponsorship. So this week I just signed one contract with a sponsor for several videos. Hopefully we'll have about like four, but I'm going to do some that will be used to pay off debt, but others I want to reinvest into the channel. Like I said, like the SEO blitz of 300 videos, I want to pay for that, and possibly bringing back an editor because I like this very specific style of doing the interviews, but
Mhm.
I'm only instead of paying him monthly until I have 8 videos I want to edit, then hiring him for that instead of just having it on a retainer. And I'm not sure if I'm going to hit the 8 interviews and everything like that. So that's what I got planned.
I need to start getting some gig work, I think. Like even if it's just like making some Opus clips for some people or something like that, because I need to increase my income. And right now, diversifying is probably the best course because I have personal training, I have my retail job at this point because I needed some income, but then like karaoke is not sustainable enough, or you know, happens often enough to count it. And so yeah.
Um, the other thing is too, again, so I got this advice from people years ago. I like it, but not for the reasons they told me to.
Hmm.
If you if you are really good at talking to people, or just you're constantly looking at tools or anything you're interested in, it feels time consuming. But what I would do is I would consolidate all the tools that you want to be an affiliate and spend an afternoon or day signing up for all the affiliates. Don't do it
Mm-hmm.
all like haphazardly, like, oh, I'll just pick up an affiliate, once a week. I feel like that just is a never ending thing.
Yeah.
Create a Word document or a Notion page or whatever,
I'm just kidding.
because
Sorry.
and then whatever you decide to use, you have it for when people are asking you for that tool,
Yeah.
and then just send it that way. Because before I'd be like, oh, I've got to sign up for this affiliate, I've got to do this, and guess what? You just don't feel like it, and it's probably not worth your time and energy at that moment of the time and everything. But if you
Yeah.
can batch that, it's not going to be an instant. I don't care what people are saying, like it's great passive income. You've got to either be influential or you just put out a lot of content, but then you can really have something where you can share it easily, and it adds up eventually,
Yeah.
over time.
So I do have some affiliate links already just kind of right out here, but I need to work on that list. Considering there's 1,000 tools on PolyTools, I need to work on that list. Since
Yeah.
I am dismantling PolyTools, what I was thinking about doing is, and I actually, ironically, I made a video that I was going to post about asking people what they thought, and then I got too either sick or distracted to post it. But I wanted to take all the categories and make a blog post for each category and put it underneath the tag of tool categories on my PolyInnovator website. So there's one tag that has 30 posts, and each post is literally just a category. So it's kind of like a subcategory because you can't really do that on Ghost, really. And then on that
Mm-hmm.
page for each one, I would have a database view either from NoCodeDB or Notion, probably since everything's in NoCodeDB right now, it'd probably be that. Because embedding Notion is actually a lot harder than it should be, ironically. I checked out the tool I sent you, and then they actually have a time limit. Like after a week, it turns off. And I'm like, oh, okay. And even their payment plans are not that great. So NoCodeDB allows you to share it without having any payment plans for it. And so I might just embed the database for each category view on there.
I like that. I like that. I wanted to have this real quick. I wanted to show this is from Sponsorship Magnet. They told you to send out a survey to your audience. This might be helpful. This was something where they were encouraging you might see trends that you might have never known that your audience is looking for that you can then partner later on. This might be helpful. And by the way, did you take my survey that I sent out? Some of these answers seem like something that you would say.
Uh, I don't know. When did you send it?
I sent it like I don't know. Let me check. I sent it out Friday or Thursday.
I also
Did
might have
you
deleted
do a
it, the
survey?
email.
No, hold on. I mean, it's fine. Hold on one second. I'll show
Oh my
you.
gosh. I'm
You've
just
got too
trying to
much
search your
stuff.
name and I can't.
It's all right. You don't have to read my emails.
Is it brand fa I opened up most of them.
Probably Doc at Brand Factoring. Let me just. I'll share my screen in a second. There's a reason behind this. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me share this screen right here. Although I think they pumped their numbers.
I'm planning my next series of videos. I don't think I did the survey.
It's all right. Some of the oh
I answered a
come on.
question on your YouTube channel post, I think.
It's yeah, it's all pretty much similar. Hold on one second. Because I'm using the Riverside app like my screen sharing abilities. Come on now. Let's do this again. Let's see if this works.
I check in sporadically.
It's too late. Don't take it now. He's taking it now.
Too late.
I know he's taking it now. Okay, so basically, the sponsorship magnet was talking about just ask like, what kind of job do they have? Are they in a relationship? Do they have a partner? Do they have kids? And then how do you or when do you typically interact with my videos? And then like open-ended questions. And if you have that, you might be able to find different opportunities with different sponsors that you might not have thought of before.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a variation of like a question right here on Twitter, right? What platform are you using for vibe coding? So that's very specific because my audience is very specific on that. I did one on YouTube, and then here are my answers over here.
I might have to
And I
fix
didn't
the
have
share
anyone
screen because
fill
I
out
don't.
their name. And I was just, you don't
Mhm.
see it?
I
You
do,
can't
but
see
it's
my
like
share
only
screen?
taking up a quarter of the screen. I can barely see it.
What
It's like
is
taking up
that
a quarter of the
about?
screen. It's weird. I wonder if I'll just have to zoom
Hold on
in
a
maybe or
second.
something like that whenever I edit it.
That's so
Yeah, it's
weird,
like
bro.
it's only taking up the top left
What?
corner of the screen.
What is
Also,
this? That's my bad. I'll just describe it. I'll stop sharing because that's
I'll try to
annoying.
see if I can
It's
fix it
annoying.
in edit too. But
Basically, my audience 30% is inspiring entrepreneurs or freelancers. I have, yeah, so the highest is freelancers. Most people are in some kind of relationship. Surprising to
oh,
me, 56% have kids. I don't
yeah.
know. Maybe I just wasn't expecting that. I don't know. Um, how and when do you typically interact with my content?
The only kid you have is me, buddy.
Here we go. Here we go. I'm not
Thank you,
saying
Father.
I'm not listening to this. I check in sporadically, and then this. I'm not listening to anything. It says
I stopped talking. What are you talking?
what problems do you have and what keeps you up at night? There's all of these really random ones. So then I put it in ChatGPT and I'm like, summarize what's going on.
Mm.
But basically trying to figure out how to sell or what can they do with money problems. Like everything is time and money, which makes sense where it aligns with inspiring entrepreneurs. So what can I do more to create the right kind of content for people trying to get leads, make their first dollar, things like that, versus everyone wants to get to like $1 million or 10K per month. But my audience from this, a lot of people aren't even at that first level. And
Honestly,
so,
if I made $1,000 a month, I would be set.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Like seriously, just from doing content, like that's a big deal. And what I was trying to actually do recently was think about the thousand true fans again. Like it's always good to kind of bring yourself back to that. Like if you had 1,000 true fans, what are they paying? Well, how much would that be? My membership on my website is $5 a month, and so 1,000 true fans will give me 5K a month essentially on there.
mm-hmm.
I have a higher tier plan, but that's more for like coaching and stuff like that.
Makes sense.
I think that
Makes sense.
one thing a lot of creators watching this show might not realize is an option too is that you can offer a high ticket offer. Like it's okay. People have that imposter syndrome, so they don't realize they can do it. But I have learned from enough gurus and content creators that it's like you should at least have an offering of a high ticket value or a high cost value, even if it doesn't. Even though whenever it goes for it, it at least makes your normal offering look more appealing, anyways, too, by comparison.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I there that's so the former CEO, I might have already told you this story. The former CEO of AppSumo, Eamon, when I was trying to hit my first 10K, and by the way, my income goes up and down all the time. So it's not like, oh yeah, I'm still making 10K a month. It just depends. It's the seasons.
Yeah.
But the thing was, I was like, I need to find 10 clients for $1,000. I need to figure out a packaging. He's like, you're doing the math wrong. You need to have a package for $10,000 a month. And what's all the features you need for 10,000? You just need one person. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
What would it look like? And from the no code trends report, looking at automation agencies, talking to different ones, the difference between people that make apps for people where they're constantly struggling to validate why people should pay them a couple $1,000s a month versus when a lot of automation agencies are charging 10 to 15K per client per retainer. It's a totally different value proposition. It's a totally different positioning in a place of power that they can come to, and they're flourishing. And if you look at it, a lot of automation agencies aren't flaunting how profitable they are because they're like, we're doing great. They don't want more competition. You see a lot of agency owners that are trying to build apps or do something where they're like, I'm going to build a chorus and you buy this stuff from me and all these things. And automation agencies a lot of times are like, we're good. We're set. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. So I think it again speaks to if you can identify what's good for your audience, what you can offer, finding out your packaging and products, it can go a long way. I'll stop talking after this, but we just
That's
did
fine.
a second interview with a guy named Andy Cloak, and I interviewed him like 4 years, like probably at the beginning of the pandemic, really. And this is before he hit 10K a month. Now he's at 25K MRR. He's launching another product. And it really is looking at the trends, looking at what people want, and stop being original. Just go where the trends are and offer services and products in that vein. And so, yeah, I'm excited. That new video is coming out in the next couple
Well,
of
good.
weeks. But yeah,
It's a good topic though, Doc, that you just explained there and expanded upon what I was saying, because I think a lot of creators don't realize that they should be reevaluating what kind of packages they do offer. And something that kept coming to mind too was like the meta trends that are happening right now. So like people aren't thinking about this from a content creator's perspective, but Amazon is killing like ebooks essentially by just making it to where you have to stream them. You can't download them unless maybe you can download them to a Kindle device, but even then, I don't think you can. I think you can only you can't download them anymore. You can only stream them, and that's a huge deal. And so a lot of people are actually kind of like boycotting Amazon now and going for more alternative options to ebooks. That's disrupting the ebook space. I even heard something about a lot of public libraries. They offer free ebooks that you can check out digitally, and so they use like Hoopla and Libby and all these different apps, and even that might get taken away and or restricted and stuff like that. And as an author, that means that our books are no longer going to be as valuable as they once were. Amazon being an Amazon bestseller doesn't mean as much now as it did 5 or 6 years ago. And that's kind of a crazy change that people aren't thinking about or talking about right now. They're talking about the Amazon issue as a consumer, but not as a creator. And so I just wanted to bring this up on this creator show because no one else is doing it. And it's kind of freaking me out a little bit because if that's messing up, and other areas too, where it's like, okay, Netflix and all these other subscription tools are starting to become more expensive. Maybe I'm not tools, but services. Maybe you creating your own Uscreen thing is actually a viable option now because now there's need for cheaper forms of entertainment. Cool. But YouTube's also coming out with some cool membership things, so maybe you just focus on that or do float plane. But again, now you can actually put more focus into that because ebooks are going down. So maybe private video going up. I've heard some mixed things about private audio, but that's still pretty cool. But again, there's all these different things that people just haven't put enough thought into.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's so many different aspects that you need to do. I want to talk about. I love what you just said, and I'm gonna go a little bit deeper if you don't mind. There was something from the sponsorship magnet, and oh, okay. So I put that survey out, and I said, hey, what products and service do you think I should offer? A lot of the majority of the results was saying, I don't know what you even offer, and I was like, what? And so like that, and that's what in the book they're like, you need to have a STP, surprising transformational promise, and they're like that needs to be your guiding light of what your product or service can be, all of those things. And I was like,
Right.
I was so surprised because as you're looking at that, like I'm like, I cannot believe I put so much time and energy, and people don't even know what I offer. Like people don't even know what I stand for. So going through
I had
that
that issue with my
exercise.
website, actually. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had to revamp my website because people didn't even know I had a membership, let alone what I offered for the membership.
See, and that's just wild. And it just shows you that when people are engaging with you on YouTube or any kind of place, trying to be crystal clear, that's why you can't have too much detail or all around for people to even understand because I take it for granted. I'm like, oh, they've watched this video. Why are they on my website? Of course they see all these things. No, they don't know what's going on. So here, my statement is like helping you use no code and AI to turn tech overwhelm into simple, scalable business growth. No coding required. Right. So there's that. I just put everything in. This is what people know about. This is the content. Create a statement for people to understand about me. And that's what it is. So now I'm going back on all my sites, everything like that, and making sure people understand that's the tagline, that's what's really happening, and then those are all the tools. Okay, tech
It's like
overwhelm, there we go, all those things.
it's making me think of going onto my YouTube channels and changing the link to focusing on like, hey, subscribe to my membership so you can get more access to like paid content that I'm offering. It's more in depth and more detailed. And now that I consolidated PolyInnovator Gaming and the PolyTools websites into my home site, their YouTube channels used to link out to those other sites. And so I had to make sure I change those to the right ones and make sure I have the right names for it and all that jazz. But there's also a matter of I have a start here page doc. And maybe you should steal this idea,
Hmm.
but it's like it's a very simple doc that someone can come in and be like, here's what I'm about, here's some of my easy links, and then here's where you can go deeper into my like paid system, if you will.
I will take that. I'm just saying that right now. Uh, no,
I really like that idea. It's so helpful, I feel like.
I think so. And it kind of, it's like that choose your own adventure kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
where do you need help with?
That's
Where
where I see the
they
funnel on
do
the
it.
website being is like a choose your own adventure. Because some people are going to follow other pathways.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. So again, we're gonna
And
see
it,
what happens. That's my whole goal. We'll see what happens in the next quarter, building this out, and the next 6 months of the 12-week year. But that's what I'm focused on.
mm, I like it. Any other final remarks?
No, we're gonna start
Okay.
batch recording so people's voices
Oh,
won't
God.
die, and that way we have some in the can. But other than that, I will see you next week.
We might have a couple in the can. I don't know about some. That's a different. I don't know.